Hi there, this is Mary with Potter's Perch here with another glaze kiln unloading. Had a nice firing. I have one dish that didn't survive, but everything else looks really good. I've got some fun stuff. Headed to a show this weekend. I'm sure this video will be posted on YouTube way after the show is done. So I can give you an update on how the show went later. If you haven't already, if you've watched some of my other videos, if you like what's in this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, send me some comments. I try to read the comments if you've got some questions about things. So let's just get started. A couple of pieces that had come out. I think these are just adorable. We've got, this is Winter Wood from Mako, and then this is Kimchi, and where they meet at a little bit of light flux. And I think that is just, if you've watched the previous videos, you'll know I'm on a real kimchi binge right now. I'm going to be switching up. So I did 2 in the kimchi. I really like the way that light flux moves. I almost had a problem on some of these. But the Winter Wood, it's a nice, kind of a beachy look. And then my chun green that I mix up, I put that glaze recipe in the last video. I think I need to make some glazes, so I will videotape putting the glazes together and some of the obstacles that I mentally had with making glazes, and I would love to see other people get started because it's just another whole nother aspect of pottery. And then we had 2, that was the chun green. This is Jess's chun blue. I have this mixed to one, no, that's not a crawling spot. That's a spot, looks like a drip of kimchi went in down. Can you see it? It's a little bonus. So Winter Wood, Jess's chun blue. You can see inside it's a little bit thicker. I poured it in, poured it out, and dipped it. Obviously didn't hold the dip, and used the light flux just like on the other one. This little attachment piece, I really enjoy those. That is something, I'm sure I don't do it as well as, but that's something I saw Bill Van Gilder do, and he is a master. I would love to go to a Bill Van Gilder workshop. So there's 6 mugs. I've got 2 more down in the kiln that have the same style, same shape, but they've got the John Cash blue, and then they actually, instead of Winter Wood, they have sandstone. Something else on the mugs, I had received a comment asking how I made my handles. Most of these handles are extruded. I have a North Star extruder and have several different handle dies. I really like that. I really like the look of that. I like the chunky look. I started making that particular die set when I started making the soup bowls. I like that nice thick chunky look. So there's the mugs. These are super cute. These are not actually out of this glaze load. They were out of the bisque before I glazed these. So I made these little, I think the transfer is sandbow. And so stroke and coat, Mako stroke and coat. And then I just bought some cork and put my pottery stamp on it. But I've got, they are so cute. I ran them to bisque because I thought that they would be more like thirsty stones that way. Yeah, not sure how I'm gonna price those yet. Those are super cute. I have some here at the house that I use all the time, and I've been very happy with them. I had one more of my Queen Anne lace platter. So I literally take the ditch flower, impress it into the clay. When it comes out of the bisque, this I put cobalt, I was going to say blue cobalt, that's a little redundant. I put cobalt on it and wiped it away, dipped it in cream from Clayscapes. I had a question about the cream also. That is at 1.55, I believe, is the specific gravity. If you buy Clayscapes glazes, they will give you a sheet with all of the specific gravity and recommended, you know, should you dip it once, should you dip it twice, they give you pretty nice instructions. But that does really well when I use these washes. The Stroke and Co, a lot of things shine right through this cream glaze. Nice glaze. If you get it too thick, it will crawl. In the same line of thinking, another one of these, and I use the copper oxide and then the cream. And those are nice little dishes. I had shown you, excuse me a sec, I had shown you, see if I can get them up here. I had shown you these two, and then it's the third came out. So this will be, I'm going to sell these as a set, because I think they should be sold as a set. So that's a nice little serving platters. I have a couple of good sized bowls. This one is just carved. I was just kind of doodling away, and I used the June Perry aquamarine recipe. So it's the June Perry recipe, except for what did I put in here? I think I put black copper oxide in here. I'll have to look up the recipe, but that is proving to be a very consistent, good coverage glaze. Doesn't crawl, doesn't craze, and it's got a lot of depth to it. So I'm enjoying that. I have, of course, more of the, I have several people who want these. This glaze is kimchi, and then on the inside, pearl white, a little bit of kimchi, autumn purple. Same thing with the plate, just kimchi. So I told you in the last video I would show you what I'm using for texture. I'll put the link in the description. This is, I bought this off from Amazon. I looked it up yesterday to make sure I knew where it was coming from. And what it's a hot pad is what it is. So it's silicone, and it's got all of that texture on it. So the only challenge is some of this where the texture goes all the way out, very prone to cracking. So you really, when you're making the piece, have to make sure that is tamped down. And then I just got one of these mushrooms, for lack of a better word, and I form it over that. I've got this makes more of a bowl, the larger one makes more of a plate, and I am going to refine this a little bit. I am going to make some bisque molds. So when I do that, of course, when I run it through the bisque, it's going to be a little bit smaller. I would like that. And it's going to release a little bit better, and I can have multiple forms going at one time to make this type of plate or bowl. So I went kind of following the path of this form, these flowers. So obviously a much different color. This is the blue spruce out of the John Britt mid-range glaze book. I'm pretty confident I put that glaze recipe in the last video. So I took these and I cut into thirds, and then I overlapped them, pinched it shut so I get much more of a bowl shape. And these are all very, very organic, very whimsical. But these are more of a bowl shape than what I've gotten just using the wooden mushrooms. So I really like that. I'm gonna continue to pursue that because I think that will be pretty popular too. And then of course these are wheel thrown with that same handle that I showed you on the mug. A little bit of texture in them. They're just very, very pretty, very cute. What else have we got here? This was a little bit disappointing to me because I had some expectations, but it might make somebody perfectly happy. This is a pretty good sized bowl. This is red brown clay from Runyon Pottery Supply. And it's hard when you use these darker clays to get a glaze that stands out. The dark colors kind of absorb it. So I put a lot of texture, a lot of stamping all the way around. And I've got the John Cash blue. I don't think it stood out enough. And then around the rim, I put some of the Justice Chun blue. So we'll see if somebody likes it. I'm not sure. The worst thing that'll happen to this is I'll put a plant in it. Put a plant in everything. I'll show you the disappointment next. Well, no, I'm gonna show you a happy one and then I'll show you that last. So, I love these. I absolutely love these. This is, I actually started a video, but I don't know if I had enough good footage because I kept forgetting to hit the record button. I'm not very good at that. Anyhow, this is an elephant ear alocasia leaf. And just pressing it into the clay, front and back. So I've got texture. These are I've got a little Amico sprig mold that's got all different kinds of feet, and those are my little flower feet. And then I put a handle on it. I'm always kind of hesitant because that could really be a breaking point. A little bit of stroke and coat. I think that's Grapple and Tuxedo Black. I did use some manganese wash on here. And then the whole thing is dipped in sea spray from Opulence. I can't recommend them enough. They are a really nice glaze to use. So I poured this on. It got a little bit uneven, but I think since it's a leaf, that's okay. That's okay, because leaves have that depth and different textures. So I do have a video I've worked on this, and I'll see about putting that up because these are a lot of room for creativity, handles and embellishments and feet, and they just come out and they're a lot of fun and people really enjoy them. They're a fun thing to take to shows. Now the disappointment. So sometimes when I have a slab of clay, it's not quite big enough, so I'll throw it a little bit to get it a little bit thinner. And I think I got this one just too thin. So he cracked right there. And he also, it's a wonder it didn't stick to the kiln shelf because this really drooped. So I think he's gonna go live in the garden and become a little bee station, a little watering station for the bees, but cute. but we got a crack. So that one's a no-go. And then my last two pieces, I'm saving my favorite for last. Can't get enough of this. So these are Fern Platters. Really easy. Well, I guess that just depends. A fun project. My hero, Vaughn Smith, this was a tutorial he did on how to make platters like this, with this kind of a foot, that kind of a base. And then this, of course, is, the glaze is actually Jess's Chun Blue over black underglaze, Mako black underglaze. And of course, I have the fern leaf in the clay, and then I paint the black underglaze on, and then pull it out and put Jess's Chun on the whole thing. But those are just, those are beautiful. I really enjoy those. They seem to sell well. Other people like them, and I think they're a beautiful thing to put out in the world. So that is what I've got for